Hi guys, welcome back to the Upgrowth YouTube channel. So here's something every marketing team does, but almost no team does well. They change things. Landing page gets a redesign, CTA gets updated, and copy gets rewritten. And then what? Nobody actually knows if it worked or not. Revenue went up. Was it the landing page, the season, the sales team? Nobody can tell. That's not marketing. That's guessing without a budget. Today, we're talking about how to actually build a testing culture where every change you make teaches you something and that the learning compounds into a real competitive advantage over time. Now, let's understand a very honest observation about Indian startups specifically. Marketing decisions happen really fast, too fast. Pages get redesigned, copy gets updated, campaigns get changed, all at speed, without controlled testing. And the result is that teams can never answer the one question that actually matters is what actually worked, right? So you're just doing decision making without any evidence. Now, speed without evidence isn't agility, it's just noise. The teams that grow fastest are not the ones who move faster, but they are the ones who learn fastest. And learning requires structure. That is what a testing culture actually is. Not tools, not processes on paper, a shift in how decisions get made, from opinions to evidence. Now let's look at our very first decision making structure, which is the HIPPO decision making. Now there's a term called HIPPO, which means highest paid person's opinion. Now it's many organizations, the founder, the senior person, he is someone who suggests the change and then team implements it immediately. That's what happens, right? The CMO says the button should be red, nobody tests it, the button becomes red. Was it better? Nobody knows. A testing culture is specifically designed to kill the HIPPO effect. Not because seniority is bad, but because even brilliant senior marketers can't predict what resonates with. Now, let's move on to the speed over learning part. Now, that's the testing velocity metric. Now, most teams have never heard of, right? And it might be the most important productivity metric for a marketing team in 2026. It's simple, right? How many experiments your team runs per month. This blog gives you the benchmarks as well. Now, starting out, 2 to 3 tests per month is what companies do. Let me just go back to the yeah. So tooling and process gaps. Now many startups already have analytics tools installed, right? But they lack the processes to use them effectively. So what happens? Poor configured analytics tracking, heat map tools installed but rarely analyzed, no documentation for experiments, lack of testing prioritization frameworks. So without a structured process, experimentation tool provides very little value. Here is an article called Conversion Rate Benchmarks for Indian Startups. Now, it is very crucial if you're a startup and you want to check whether your conversion rate is up to the benchmark or not, it is meeting the standard practice or not. So, make sure you read this article. This covers the rate benchmarks for Indian startups. It also tells you why Indian specific conversion benchmarks matter. It gives you vertical wise create benchmarks. It also gives you by device, by funnel stage, and then some questions around it. So do check this article out. This is going to be really helpful. Meanwhile, let's go back to our blog. Now, how to get founder and C-suite buy-in for testing? Now, very important. Leadership support is very important for building a testing culture and marketing. Without executive buy-in, experiments they rarely receive the resource and time they need. So frame testing as revenue protection. Just like a trial, you do frame testing. You do position experimentation as a safeguard against costly mistakes. Untested changes to high traffic pages will significantly impact revenue. But even a small drop in conversion rates can result in large financial losses over time. You show founder and C-suite the cost of not testing. If a landing page converts at 3% and an untested redesign reduces it to 2.5, company will lose roughly 17% of potential conversions. So that is really impactful, right? And it's really substantial. So make sure you check that out. Now, start with a single experiment. It is always said, don't go so high. Start with very simple and basics. So, you start with doing a simple A/B test on a high traffic landing page. It will quickly make you understand the value of a structured experimentation. Now, anyone in startup or in an agency who is thinking to get on board in-house CRO or an agency, this guide will help you understand which one is the right fit. So this gives you comparison between having an in-house conversion rate optimization team, or an agency. Now, which one is right for your startup? Now, it may differ startup to startup. So, this covers the entire breakdown. So, what an in house CRO team does, what a full CRO team does for scale, and what are the hidden costs of having an in-house team, and what does working with an agency look like, and what's a good agency practice, head-to-head comparison, when you should choose which one. So it gives you cover everything. It also gives you the hybrid model idea, and how do you pick up the right CRO agency. So it covers that major chunk of the part as well. So really crucial because money is in, right. So this one is really really important. So do check this one out as well. Meanwhile, let's go back. Now, how do you implement a practical CRO experimentation framework? Let's get into that. Number one is the ICE framework. Now, what is that? ICE is impact, confidence, ease. Very important, right? Now, potential effect of any key metric if the test you are doing is succeeds. Confidence, evidence, there should be evidence supporting the hypothesis you're going to do. And the ease, how much effort it takes. Does it take more effort, less effort? Is it manageable, not manageable? Everything you need to understand via this model. Then you test the documentation template. Now, every experiment should be documented before launch. You should keep a documentation because it really helps you later to identify which one worked, which one didn't. So, really, really crucial. Then you measure the test velocity, right? Number of tests launched per month. How many? What was the completion rate and percentage of statistically significant results? And what was the learning that generated per experiment? Early stage teams they may run 2 to 3, and while mature one may run 8 to 12, depending again across their niche, across their funnels. So make sure you do that. There is another guide here, which is the ultimate CRO guide for Indian startups. Now, earlier the two guides that came up, one was in-house versus CRO, one was about ads. This one covers everything for Indian startups. This is the entire guide. So this might take you some time to go through, but this is really really crucial because it covers everything. So make sure you read this one as well. Wherever money is in, I feel you should really get into it. So do check this out. Anyway, let's go back to our article. Now, building a learning loop. Now, what happens? You did some tests. Some of them worked, some of them didn't work. You had learnings. Now, how do you build a learning loop? It's very crucial. Now, create a test learning repository. That's the first step. Then you do conduct monthly testing revenues and reviews. Then sharing insight across team. Okay, this worked, this happened. So we'll be doing next this way. That is very crucial. Another article here, CRO for SaaS startups. So if you're a SaaS startup, this one is really really important for you because another the previous one covered for every business. This is specifically for CRO, for SaaS. So do check this one out. You just have to click the link, and you'll see the complete guide regarding the CRO for SaaS startups. So how to optimize SaaS signups, optimizing onboarding, everything. It covers entire your product life cycle, your sales led SaaS CRO, everything. So this is a very very crucial read. Again, I'm uh, focusing on this one because this is really really crucial for if you're a SaaS business. I mean, you just need to go on depth with this one. Let's go back. Okay, now common mistakes also happens. Yes, if you're building a testing culture, it is definitely viable to have some mistakes made. So let's not do that. So for that, we have added some pointers. Testing without enough traffic. If there are no monthly visitors are doing testing, it's waste. So let the traffic come in first and then you do it. Stopping test too early. Don't do that. Team often declare a winner very soon, right? After a few days of testing. Don't do that. Experiments, they require a sufficient sample. Also, they require sufficient time. So make sure you do that. Ignoring seasonality. Don't do it. Indian markets experience strong fluctuations due to festival, financial cycles, wedding season. So make sure you take that into consideration. Now, if you are a startup and you're trying to scale from 0 to 1, this is a founder's growth playbook. I mean, just go into depth with this one if you're starting to build a startup. It's very, very crucial. If you're a founder, if you have a startup, you want to scale it from 0 to 1, this one is for you. So make sure you go through this. Meanwhile, let's go back. Now, lastly, let's get into the bottom line of this entire article. So bottom line is the testing culture is not just about running more A/B tests. It is about changing the default question your team asks from what should we do to what should we test. So that shift, now that becomes a habit, compounds into a genuine competitive moat. Teams that learn faster win, regardless of budget, regardless of headcount. So start with ICE scoring, document every experiment, track velocity monthly, and make sure leadership is celebrating the habit of testing and not just the wins. So the last one is the most important and the hardest. So full blog link is in the description. Subscribe for more and drop a comment. How many tests is your marketing team running per month right now? Also, do check out our growth marketing strategist Groove here. So you can click on the link and it will redirect you to the dashboard of Groove. So it's a growth marketing strategist built by Upgrowth. This one is like, this is the game changer really. So if you're unsure about any growth marketing strategy, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, this is your place. This is completely free. So you can just type in your query here and it will guide you to the right approach. So make sure you check and test Groove out. Okay, let's go back. Now we're done with this article. I hope you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'll bring back more such breakdowns soon. So see you in the next one. Bye.